We just got back from the RVX RV show in Salt Lake City.
It was a big industry show and everybody who was anybody in the RV industry was there. But one of the more interesting things we saw was from Campgrounds of America.
The future of campgrounds.
Take a look.
So we're taking a look at the Campground of the Future with KOA. So we have the opportunity to partner with KOA here at RVX. And so what they've got, and you can actually visit this at your own, at home on your own computer. You go to campthefuture.com. This will be the page you land on here. They got a description of everything. If you click this this VR tab right here, it'll go to this screen, which will load up. And these have the different regions where they've designed these kind of ideas of what the campground 10 years into the future will look like. And if you click on one, for example, we'll go to the coastal one first, you'll come to an overview. This is a coastal design of what the campground of the future could look like. Now, the idea being here is kind of like SEMA or, a specialty auto show, kind of going outside the box a little bit. They're thinking about ideas, and this is kind of like really, stuff that's both real world and maybe in the future. For example, in the future, you see that little yellow thing right there? I'll pop up the little description. That is a delivery bot that'll automatically deliver stuff to your site. Now that's obviously futuristic and out of the box, but who knows? Maybe it'll be real, and if you all respond to them, maybe they'll create it. But something that actually could happen today is a pantry delivered to your site, pre-filled with all the products you'll need to enjoy a camping experience. So you can think about somebody who's unsure about camping. What do I need to bring? They'll pre-deliver it to your site, and you can just show up with your rig, or if you're staying in a tent or one of the glamping tents, everything is there for you to enjoy your experience. So they've really kind of melded next gen with current stuff. From a navigating perspective, this is how I always go. I always shoot up to like their high perspective, look down, and kind of get a lay of the land and where you're at.
So let's take an actual look at this. This is the water out here, and they see somebody actually building campsites on kind of a homemade reef all the way around that.
A causeway, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So kind of interacting with the water.
With solar power, race, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, the
Amazing.
solar power, a good point. You've been down to Tucson, right? The KOA in Tucson has those solar arrays. That's actually the KOA in Tucson where they've installed solar panels. Guess what the most popular sites at the Tucson KOA are? Those sites underneath those solar panels. And they are selling electricity back onto the grid from those panels. So it's actually generating revenue for the park. So, just an example of trying to integrate technology with a real world experience for campers. So they've even got here, they've got this underwater tube that you could go walk in and tour the trail. So, just ideas that, where's the park at and how can that look? They tried to think outside the box here for this. How we've integrated with them is if you jump into, this would be like their main office area here, or the main like check-in stand with a store and a cafe and all that type of stuff. Our next generation stuff is right here. So we do the 360 tours, right? Allowing people to physically go in and look at the sites. We are now integrating booking within that. So we're not creating a reservation system. We're going on top as a layer, allowing us to go in via API to the booking system, but pulling in the real world data. So if you're looking at the site and you want to book it, you can now see if that site's available. So as RVers, we all get it. Like, I have a 44-foot rig. I need to see the site. Am I going to fit? Can I pull into it or not? So being able to address that and show people exactly what it looks like, basically an industry-changing event, right? Because now people know what they're getting into. So we're excited that KOA saw that as something that's actually going to happen, because the reality is it's going to happen. We're building it this summer. Campthefuture.com.
And you can go to all sorts. You can go to coastal, you can go to a forest one, a desert one, urban.
The forest setting, what's neat about this one, you can see this at Campgrounds now, a lot of the newer like tent sites, where if you notice there's a few RVs in here and a few vehicles, but what the concept being here is that the main parking area is actually out away from there, and you travel into it, and the campground's designed more into the landscape, so less chopping of trees and more building into the landscape itself. So they put an elevated walkway up into the trees there and kind of getting you up in the canopy. I can imagine that being up in the redwoods, right? You get off the fern floor and up into the trees. And I know my wife would love to be up higher in the redwoods if she could. So you can imagine the task that KOA was given here is, hey, KOA, come here and show us the campground of the future. That's a big ask. So I think they did a really good job kind of bringing in all these different design elements and things that are both realistic and maybe outside the box a little bit. Something that everybody would appreciate, because we know RVers love traveling with their pets. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, there we go. They're doing this right now at parks. Enclosed, fenced-in areas where you can park your rig and you can let your dog out of your rig without having them on a leash. So you've got your own designated space. And we know how popular, bringing the dogs along. That they're doing that right now in some parks in Arizona. I imagine that'll be very popular. So again, tour that. It's really next world.
And Mark, at campgroundviews.com, you already can do a lot of that stuff. I mean, in terms of looking at a campground, looking at the site, the stuff that you just showed us here in the future.
Yes.
That's available in your website and your app right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at campgroundviews.com, we have over 3,000 videos, 30,000 photos, and over 300 360 video tours of campgrounds and RV parks. So it really goes down to our ultimate goal is to make camping amazing. I mean, it really is. And we believe the way you do that is by getting the right camper at the right campground. So whatever data we can provide to help make that happen, that's our goal.
So there you go. That's what KOA, Campgrounds of America at least, thinks that the campground of the future might look like someday.
I think that's exactly what they're going to look like someday. I just don't know how far in the future that's going to be.
Underwater camping?
Hey.
Who knows? Hey, we're Mike and Jennifer Wendland. Thanks to KOA for the demo of their new interactive display, and we hope you enjoyed it. Would you do us a favor and give us a thumbs up on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the RV Lifestyle channel right here on YouTube.
Happy trails.